What are you talking about? Don't generalize it. What? And it's been so horrible so far. To explain something to her that I can't. I was disappointed. I don't even remember the story because of how underwhelming it was for me, but I found that the writing style was very stunted. See, Raman is a selfish prick and Daisy puts people down like it's nobody's business. It feels like the actual message, the actual bigger message is lost in translation, and that's a shame. This lady is one of my favorite authors ever, but somehow this didn't live up to it. There's no essence, there's no novelty. There was nothing that Google wouldn't tell me. Writing is circuitous, there's no connection whatsoever, it feels like. Since it was Marcus Zusak, I did not DNF it. I can't get the book thief out of my mind, and this one I want to get it out of my mind. It's very forgettable. I'm really sorry about this, but it felt very pretentious to me. Big words were used unnecessarily and it simply didn't find the mark. I hate it because this is a book. This is not self-help. What is the whole point of a reader buying your book and reading it if all you do is insult them with every page turned? Happiness is a problem, emotions are overrated. Grief does not announce itself. It's like a dictionary vomited all over the pages with all inane words. This entire book is full of giving a fuck, give a fuck, not give a fuck, don't give a fuck, this, that, this, that's all. It showed women doing the same things that we say we hate when a man does it, and that's not a good thing. I'm going to consider that as read because it was torture for the first however much I read it. It was torture. It seems too rushed, like it's like the author just wants to empty his mind. The author is trying to make the writing too flowery. There were way too many footnotes in this book. It was as if the author wrote the end and then wrote the book based on the ending. I'm not a fan of the writing style and the structure. It could have used a lot more editing. A disappointment. It was predictable and it went from point to point without being very outstanding. It repeated the information and then the resolution was like this. You know, this is called masochism. Like, I went looking for such a book. There's a thing in punctuation called full stop. You can use that. You don't have to use commas all the way. There were some places where I was like, I have no idea what this book is about. I mean, I just couldn't digest this book. I felt like the only thing that happened in this book is everyone went to Baghdad and something happened and then the murderer or the criminal, I don't even remember, criminal is caught. In this time and age, you can't go back to the ancient times and say that you are my daughter-in-law, so you cannot do this. Kuch to bolna bhai. If it does not make sense, burn the whole thing. Like, it is as bland as Maggie without masala. It just did not stick with me. The fact that she just writes, she just throws in random facts and details about the world that she's talking about, and then she sort of, it looks like she's expecting the reader to, you know, put them together and make coherent sentences, coherent narratives and a coherent plot. I felt like there was no point to many of these poems. I found it very dragged because of how technical the terms began to get for me. The writing style didn't really sit well with me. It felt like it was too flowery, too wannabe. कोई भी meaning नहीं है. Like, nothing, nope, nada. Such a long sentence, man. Break it up, break it up. That's why you broke up. Someone went to a site called philosophicalsayings.com and then took everything that was in there and dumped it in this conversation. The plot is rushed. There's no consistency in the storytelling. I can't even put my finger on why it was so disappointing. There's just one word on a page that does not constitute a poem. The plot is nice, but it could have been executed a little bit better. It was not used to its full potential. there's no punctuation, there's no coherent sentences. The writing feels like it's been written so that nobody understands it. The whole point of storytelling is not to show that you can string words together. The whole point of it is you have to be able to string words together to make sense, and we have to find out for ourselves who is speaking what. It was even crass in some places. It did not feel like I was reading about Lisa's life. I want to know what your thoughts are, what you were going through. I don't want to know how the sunlight was slanting in through the windows, or how the birds are flying, or how the geckos are chirping and all that. I don't want to know all of that. I did not like the way that the author glossed over the parts where a certain Khan is abusive. Like, at this point I'll narrate the whole book. It's that horrible. What was this? You don't have to explain the role of the phone in this phony relationship. Hello brother, what are you talking about? What do you want to say? That adjective does not fit there. Or if you want to use the words, then at least Google them. It's not that difficult. You have no idea how much I'm controlling myself. You're trying to have a romantic relation, or India-Pakistan relations you're trying to repair. Appa, the lamest of the lame pickup lines here. Is there any airport around? Simar asked Sonal. No. Then why is my heart ready to take off? In the evening. God, why did you create me?